Which traditional surname has been ditched the most often? I couldn't handle it. The answer's Cock.
The way you tell them, Kirsty, it's the way you tell them.
Have I still got my job?
Yes.
Someone tuned in at that moment.
Yeah. I'm not watching Jeremy Kyle anymore, I'm sticking with this, yeah. So, the issue is whether or not you would ditch an embarrassing surname. Porter, Kane and Breed's thoughts in a second. Yours are welcome on the usual number, please, 0207 173 5555. Now, archives show people with embarrassing surnames have been changing them at quite a rate in the last 100 years. A former Children's Secretary, Ed Balls, might be disappointed to hear that his moniker is one of many to have gone out of fashion. It's almost a shame we had a general election, isn't it? Anyway, others getting the boot, including Shufflebottom, Daft and Jelly, and... The tragedy, he says, trying to find his heart, is that many of these names go back hundreds of years. Mr. Gotobed's relatives may have been the very first to get a bed just before the fire of London. And Mrs. Glasscock's relatives may have been the first in their village to have windows in their cottage. A cock can have its root in the word cottage. You see what I did there?
In Australia, that's a much ruder sentence.
Yeah, that's right. Now, cock can have its root in the 21st... it goes back to... Cock is a bastardisation of the word cottage, so we understand it. But in the 21st century Britain in particular, in this age of enlightenment, the information superhighway, we now find such names funny. We giggle like immature school kids, and consequently, many traditional surnames are disappearing. Soon, there will be no more Smellies, and they've been with us since 400 AD. And what about the Fartings? They've been here since Anglo-Saxon times too. Look at you giggling away, eh? This is British history, yeah? Nick Griffin would be ashamed of you. They've even got a crest, the Fartings. There you go. But can you blame people for wanting something less amusing? Not when researchers have found that those lumbered with unfortunate surnames tend to die younger than the Smiths and Joneses of this world, because apparently our surnames exert a pressure on us. Tell me about it. I mean, do you know how hard it is being right 24/7? Miss Breeds... Miss Breeds...
Yes.
Miss Breeds...
Like rabbits.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard it. I've heard it. Well, this is funny, because you know how you go, oh, my last name comes from my heritage. And I would question that a lot. I'm like, breeds...
Well, I would if I was Australian.
My heritage, what is that about? I'm like, did we breed? Were we breeders ourselves? Did we have a lot of children? Did we own a brothel? You know, I didn't know.
Did you own what?
I'm not going to repeat that. I don't know what's allowed in this.
You can say brothel if that's what you're going to say.
Brothel, thank you very much. But I recently just found out on this trip that our last name actually means a broad meadow or a broad space, and it was actually originally spelled B-R-E-D-E. Now, I've actually just, you know, my chest puffed out a little bit. I was like, oh, I have some heritage, you know, because in Australia we've got 200 years. That's it. But to come back to this country and go, oh,
well,
like...
you got thousands and thousands of years of Aboriginal people history, but of course we put all those to one side
the
and feed them loads of
Indigenous
booze.
history. The Indigenous history, isn't the mainstream, you know, 200 years of colonial Australia. You know, so in our, you know, but to find that went back 500, 600, 700 years of ancestry that I actually found in the town of Rye, I was like, wow, this is really cool, and I felt proud of that.
Had you previously been tempted to maybe change your surname at any point, or you are happy?
Well, only for professional credibility.
Right, okay.
If it was going to impede on my career at all, you know, an actress, you know, or your professionalism, you know, stuff like that, I go maybe. Yeah. Maybe I had a friend in a very similar situation who's an actress and wants to be taken seriously and had, you know, a last name that.
Go on.
Don't make me do it. Oh. Her name was Miss Greathead, and so she changed. I wasn't gonna. I'm sorry, take me off. But she changed it to Miss Park, because she stopped laughing. I look like I'm in trouble now.
She want to change it.
I would have thought I would have...
Who knows? Some reason she found some kind of a problem with that. I don't know. But she did change it for an actress to have some more credibility. And I understand that, but I had thought about it, but I hadn't got
The editor's telling me to interject and take some calls before I get us into any more trouble.
Sorry.
No. You guys jump in. Kirsty, who's on the phone, please?
We have Sylvia on line 1.
Morning, Sylvia.
Hello.
You had an unusual name?
Yes, I was born Sylvia Hooker.
So...
That's, I lasted till I was in 1970. I got married, but then when I divorced, I actually kept my husband's name because I was a teacher. And so you can imagine the kids would love to say, "Oh, my teacher's a hooker."
Can I ask you, on a genuinely serious and inquisitive note, do you feel slightly sad about that your name, your family lineage has gone?
Well, yeah, because it's been bastardised by the Americans, hasn't it?
Yeah, they ruin everything, don't they?
Yeah.
Unless you consider yourself to be a relatively short rugby player, which is the other way of looking at it, I suppose.
I don't think I'm respected for that.
OK, Sylvia, thank you. We've got time for one more quick one?
Yeah, we have Hannah on 2.
No, I mean, told we
we've got
haven't.
time.
Tell us about your friend again. No, I'll wrap up the show and we'll talk about her in a moment. And that is all you're going to get from us this morning, I'm afraid. Probably for the best. Many thanks for your calls, your emails and tweets. And likewise, it's thank you to these guys. What a team. Rebecca, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, it was a pleasure.
And don't forget, you can catch her in all her glory and Home and Away every day at 2:15 and 6 p.m. right here on 5. Get a rush. I've got tears in my eyes. Ladies and gents, give it up for the panel. Now, we've got a real treat for you tomorrow, and Amy McDonald returns to the show. I don't know if you've heard any of her new stuff, but it's amazing, really in fine form. She's going to be bringing her guitar along as well. And we're going to hear your thoughts on that astonishing admission by Dame Joan Bakewell that her old foe, Mary Whitehouse, was right all along. Sexual liberation in the 60s has done for us. We'll see you at 9:15 tomorrow. Bye for now.